Welcome back to the channel, everybody. How you doing? I just want to say I appreciate you guys being here. Today we are going to talk about books I'm too lazy to read. Yeah, why not? I was just sitting there thinking about this the other day. I'm like, what are some books that I really don't want to read, but I feel like I should read them at least once in my life? I actually only have 5 books. So I have 2 series and the rest are just standalones, which is actually kind of cool. I mean, makes me feel kind of good that maybe I'll read the standalones. Now the series, one of them is just like really complex and complicated, and the other one, they're just both really long series, and I don't know if I'm gonna be in the mood to read them, and I don't know when I would read them, but we'll see what happens. I know both of these are really popular fantasy series, so, and it's more the FOMO, just fear of missing out on these books, because I don't know, I just really want to see if these are really, really good. Maybe once I finish Akatar, maybe I'll dive into one of these. We'll see. So the first one on this is War and Peace. I don't know anything about this book. I just feel like I hear when people talk about it, a lot of people are like, this is the greatest book I've ever read. Every book I read after this just does not measure up to it. And I really want to just experience that. And my problem is, what if I read it and I hate it? What if I absolutely hate this book? I wasted like over a week reading this book, because I think this book's like 1,300 pages. It's a chunker. I don't understand what this book is at all. I just know it's called War and Peace. So does that mean we're talking about strictly war and then peace after? Or is it like a mental thing? I don't know. And that's why I want to read it. I don't know anything about this book, but I'm just so lazy to read it because I just feel like, what if I read it and I just hate it? I absolutely hate it. And that's a fear of mine. But it's also a fear of mine to sit there and be like, man, I've never read this book. So it's so toxic of me to debate on this. Maybe eventually I'll read it. I'll sit down and read this dang book. Like I DNF'd, soft DNF, Pride and Prejudice, and Gone with the Wind. I really want to read both of them, but right now I'm just not feeling it. I was not feeling it for my winter TBR, and that makes me sad, but I'm not too lazy to read those. I really want to read those. But for War and Peace, I don't know. It's just a book that I really sat there and thought. I've been thinking about it for a couple weeks now. It's like, man, I really want to read this, but I also don't want to, because it's just something I don't want to commit to, but I also want to commit to, if that makes any sense. Am I making any sense about why? But regardless though, we'll see. So this is the first book for a book series for books I'm too lazy to read, and that is Malazan. Yeah, I have all 10 books of these, all mass paperbacks. I bought these books like 5 years ago, and they just sit on my shelves. Nothing's barely sitting on my shelf. It's just these books, and they're not there. They're actually in boxes. So there's that. But Malazan, I've been wanting to read, but every time I see people talk about it in 2 different ways. Yeah, A, it's so amazing. It's groundbreaking. And B, I have no idea what I just read. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to read books right after I get done reading it and just sit there and think, what in God's name did I just read? I don't want to do that. I want to read books for enjoyment, and I'm so afraid that if I read Malazan, I'm not going to remember anything I read, and then I'm just never going to finish the series. And I really don't want to do that. And that's why I've been very lazy on reading it. I actually almost started it last year, but then I was like, nah, we're going to finish Wheel of Time, and we're going to be caught up with Stormlight. I did not finish Stormlight, and I'm kind of content with that because I heard book 5 is some cheeks, and I don't want to read that. And book 4 was kind of sluggish, but that's for a different video whenever I actually read book 4. But in general though, with Malazan, I'm just so 50-50 with it. A lot of people say book 1's really good, and then they say book 2 is completely different because you're meeting a whole new characters, you're in a whole new world, and you don't know anyone from the first book, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds like a pain in the butt. So I'm really just been lazy, and it's something I've been kicking down the road, and I'm thinking maybe I might try to read Malazan like maybe once like a season or something. I have no idea yet, but yeah, I'm just too lazy. If someone can comment down below and be like, dude, you need to read Malazan because it's really good. Or is it called Malazan? I don't know. I'm too lazy to even pronounce it right. There's that. This one, I've been lazy because I hear a lot of bad things about this one, and that is Moby Dick. Now, I watched a lot of videos about people talking about Moby Dick. A lot of people are like, wow, this book's really good. But the problem is, like, out of the 800-page book, there's so many chapters where the author just talks about whales. Which, I get it. It makes sense. Because Moby Dick is a whale. He talks about whaling so much. And I understand, like, old writing is just info dumping, essentially, just basically they're like, look how smart I am, which is fine. I mean, there's a good balance between that and what modern day writing is, because I don't think modern day writing is amazing. I think it's more TikTok brain writing. That could be a hot take. I'm going to stand with it. But there's a fine balance between it. But I think when I hear people talk about Moby Dick and how much he kind of just like steers away from the actual story, it makes me just not want to read it. Even though I want to read a lot more classics in my life, but Moby Dick has always been really down the bar. Just for those kind of reasons, and I just don't want to read it for that. Like, I've been really lazy about it. Will I read it? Maybe eventually. There's a lot of classic books that I still want to read before I even dip my toes in Moby Dick.
What did he say?
But yes, in general though, I've just been really lazy about wanting to read Moby Dick. So it's definitely been, if I had to do like a top 50 of classic books I want to read, it's probably like 51. It's not even on the list, that's for sure. This one is interesting. I actually own a leather bound edition of this book, and I can't remember the actual series, so I just picked the first trilogy of it, and that is the Farseer trilogy. I am so 50-50 on this series. I always think about reading it, because everyone talks about how great this series is. Everyone says the magic ship trilogy. I don't even think it's called that. I just know it was like, the second trilogy is like a bunch of ships and they're magical and they could talk to you or something. It was really, really good. But Farseer, everyone says the third book is where it falls off. And that already makes me like, oh, because Robin Hobb's like a very slow writer, kind of like Tad Williams, which is fine. I mean, I like slow burn fantasy, I really do, but I have to be in the mood for it. I have to really want to be like, let's grind it out, which is fine. I'm just saying, to me, I just am too lazy to even attempt it. I'm not kidding. I've owned this bad boy since I moved to this town, this new city. That was almost 4 years ago. This is the first book I bought here, and I'm so sad because I still haven't read it. And I almost thought about reading the other two, but I just haven't, because I'm like, why? I don't even read these books yet. Why should I even bother? I almost got rid of this thing and just bought mass paperbacks because I don't know. But yeah, I just haven't read them yet, and I'm just like, man, maybe I should read them. The last one is another classic. Like I said, I have 2 series and 3 standalones. All classics too. That's the beauty of it. Because I like reading some classics. And I haven't really read any classics this year, which is very depressing actually. The more I think about it, I might have to put that in my summer TBR. Doesn't matter. This one is The Count of Monte Cristo. I would love to read this, but I'm also just too lazy because it's really long. There's something with me in long books lately. I haven't really been in the mood to read like a giant 1,000-page book. And I think it's because the Stormlight and Wheel of Time books really just killed my vibe. Am I reading ACOTAR? Yeah. Is Wings and Ruin like 800 pages? Yeah. But there's a difference between Sarah J. Maas's writing and Robert Jordan's writing. Her writing is very quick, not as detailed, and that's about it. I think Robert Jordan's just a way better writer than Sarah J. Maas. It's not even close. But all I'm saying is the difference between like an ACOTAR book and Moby Dick is far and few between. Like I said, a TikTok book versus a non-TikTok book. That's kind of how I think about it. One's fast food slop and one's, I don't know, some seafood restaurant. But all I'm saying is, with these big classic novels, I'm like, oh my gosh, do I really want to read these? It's just like a commitment wanting to read these books and see if I actually want to read them. And everyone has said great things about this book. I have heard nothing bad about it. That's why I'm like, should I just read it? But then every time I do my TBR, I just don't put it on there. For one, I don't own it. I'm trying to read books I own currently, so there's that. And I'm like, no, I'm just too lazy to read the damn book. If you guys made it to the end of the video, I do appreciate it. What did you guys think about my list of 5 books/series I'm too lazy to read? Do you agree with my list, or do you think I should try and read some of these books? I'd love to know. And also, am I pronouncing it Malazan or is it Malazan? Which one is it? I would love to know down below. Then you can make fun of me for mispronouncing it if I was saying it wrong the whole time. Awesome sauce. And of course, make sure you guys stay safe, stay humble, and tell someone you love them. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay weird.